CCC family, it's Dawn Marie with Custom Comfy Crochet, and today we're going to learn how to make these beautiful little fall sunflowers. Now, I do want to show you up close what they look like. So we've got our top layer of the sunflower, and then we've got the green coming from behind. And then right here, we just have a little twine coming out just to give it a little bit of a pretty little extra look. So yeah, this is really fun. I think it's pretty easy to do, definitely beginner friendly. And yeah, so let's get into the materials. Okay, so for your materials today, you're going to need an 8mm hook, and then you're going to need a 4.25mm hook. And that's because the back is done in a bigger hook to make the puffs bigger. And then the smaller one is in the front to make them smaller. And that'll make the green come out a little bit more than the yellow so that you can see the green coming from behind, okay? You're gonna need a pair of scissors, and you're going to need a darning needle, or you might call it a crochet needle. Looks just like this. Trying to get the camera to focus there. Okay, and that's what you're gonna need. I also, like I said, I had this little twine coming in and out of here. And I just got that. I'm using it for some other projects for fall. I got it off Amazon. I actually crocheted with this, and that's going to be another video coming up soon. So keep an eye out for that if you're interested. So that's all you're going to need for this. And let's go ahead and get started on the tutorial. As you can see, I have some here that don't have the green on the back, and you can definitely do these just like this without the green, and you'll see how to do that once I show get into the tutorial. And then here's a little smaller one. This was just done with a smaller hook, and but the middle and everything is still the same, so you can do that if you wish. Okay, so to get started today, you're going to start with your bigger hook. You're going to pull out your green yarn, and these yarns are just Red Heart. I think this is a Red Heart green, I think maybe camo. I'm not sure. I'll put it in the description box below along with all the other materials. And this is just actually a pretty yellow from Dollar Tree. And that's another video that's going to be coming up soon. I'm going to be reviewing Dollar Tree yarn and Dollar Tree hooks, guys. So anyways, just a thought if you want to watch that. But we're going to start off with the green. And we're going to start with a magic circle. Okay, so we'll start with our magic circle. If for any reason you're not familiar with anything we're doing in this video, like a magic circle or any of the stitches that we're using, please look in the description box below, and I have a absolute beginner crochet video, okay? So we're going to go under there, pull this through, go up and pull through the loop. And we've got our magic circle. And now we're going to put 12 single crochets into our magic circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, and 12. And then we're just going to pull our magic circle tight, and we're going to slip stitch into our first stitch, but we're going to slip stitch into the back loop only. Okay, so normally you would go through both loops when you did a slip stitch. You would go under both of those loops there, but you're actually just going to go into the back one, do a slip stitch, and then we're going to chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to yarn over 9 times to do our puff stitch right here. So you're going to yarn over, go into that back loop you worked in, pull up once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay? And then you're going to go through all of these loops except for the last one. Pull up. You now have 2 loops on your hook. Go through both loops just like that. Then you're going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, and 3. Into the same into the same space that you've been working your puff, you're going to go back in there and you're now going to do a slip stitch, okay? Then you can press this out like that and you've made your puff, all right? Okay, so after you do that slip stitch, you're going to chain 3, and then you're going to skip a stitch, go into your next stitch working in the back loop only, and you're going to start doing your puff stitch. So go through once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Go through all of those except the last 2, then go through there. Then you're going to chain 3 again. You're going to go into the same space. You're going to work a slip stitch. And then you're going to chain 3 again, and you can push this out just like that. Chain 3. Skip a stitch. Go into the back loop of your next stitch. Skip that one, go into the next one, back loop, yarn over, and start doing your puff. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Go through all loops except for the last one. Pull up, you have 2 loops on your hook. Go through those 2, then chain 3, and into the space that you've just been working your puff, do a slip stitch. Okay, so you're going to keep doing that all the way around. You're going to skip one and go into the next. Don't forget to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Skip your next stitch, go into the next, working in the back loop. And now you're going to start your puff. Yarn over 1, and we're going to skip our next stitch, go into the next. So for this video, I'm showing you how to do 6 petals on these. If you want to do more petals, okay, like this one has 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's because in the beginning, instead of doing 12 single crochets, I did 16. So and then you would just follow the pattern just the same that I'm showing you. You would just have 8. I'm just making it a little bit smaller for the sake of the video. Okay, so we're going to skip our next stitch, go into the next. This will be our last petal here, or leaf actually, because we're using the green. We're going to remember to chain 3. We're going to yarn over, skip this one, go into the back loop of this one, and yarn over 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Go through all loops except for the last 2. Go through those 2. Then chain 3. Then we're going to go into right where we've been working, do a slip stitch. Okay. And now to close off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch right here in this, skip your next stitch and go into the next. We're going to slip stitch right there, which is where that chain of 3 was right there. We're going to go right into the base of that and put a slip stitch to close. And now you can cut off. Make sure you leave enough room to work that in later. And then just chain 1 and pull through, okay? So now we're done with the back of the flower. Again, remember I told you this can just be one piece, and if you use the yellow, then it would just look like that, okay? Again, this has more petals on it. This has 8. and this has 6. And you will learn how to do this here in just a minute, and it would be the same if you just wanted to do one layer of your sunflower, okay? But for now, I'm going to pull out my yellow, and I'm going to switch to that smaller hook that I told you we were going to need, the 4.25. We're going to go to that, and we're basically doing the same thing. We're just doing it a little bit differently. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working in these stitches in between these. And the reason why we worked in the back loops is just so that they would be more noticeable. So we've worked through this stitch. So we're going to go through this stitch right now, as you can see right here. We're going to pull in our color. It doesn't matter where you start as long as it's in one of those stitches that we haven't worked into. And we're going to chain 1 to bring the color in. Going to leave enough room to work that in. And then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to work a puff. Going back into that stitch, we're going to pull up 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, then you're going to go through all loops on your hook except for the last 2. You're going to go through the last 2 there, loops. Then you're going to chain 3, and then you're going to slip stitch right back into the same spot right here that we've been working into, and then you can push it out if you want to. Okay. Then we're going to skip a stitch, which would be where this puff is right here, and we would go into the next one, which is clearly visible right there. Those are the ones we need to be working into. So I'm just going to fold all these back so my hook doesn't get caught in them, and I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then I'm going to go right into this next front loop here, and I'm going to start working my puff. And again, we're going to work 9 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Then you're going to go through all of those except for the last 2. Then you're going to go through those 2. Then you're going to chain 3. You're going to go right back into the same spot you've been working in, and you're going to do a slip stitch. Okay, so as you can see, it's exactly the same, except you're using a smaller hook and you're going through these front loop stitches right here. So I want you to continue on till you get 6 petals, and then I'm going to show you how to close. And I'm going to show you how to do the middle and how to do the twine. So we'll be right back in just a second. Okay, so I finished all my petals all the way around, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And just like we did on our first round, I'm going to go right to the base of this stitch right here, this front loop, and I'm going to do a slip stitch to pull it all together. Then I'm ready to cut off. And I just chain 1, pull through, and tighten up, okay? So this is what it looks like right there. So what I'd like to do now is go ahead and use my darning needle or crochet needle, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to work in all my ends, and then I'm going to show you how to do the middle piece. Now I do want to show you real quick, in case you don't know, people get upset sometimes when I don't show how to work on ends. And I think it's not because they don't know how to work in ends, but sometimes it's different for different projects. So like here, we've got all these, you know, big, beautiful petals. So it can be kind of hard to figure out how to work in the ends. So what I like to do is, first of all, if this is being used as an applique or in some fashion like for decoration, you could just knot off. So I'm going to show you that real quick. So I'm in between these 2 layers, and I've got these 2 yellow pieces. I've pushed up my petal. I'm going to just pull through once, twice, and I might even do 3 times. And you can now also work this in even after knotting it. But if I'm going to be using it as just like for decoration or whatever, you can do this and just cut off. But if this is for a piece of clothing or something, you definitely want to make sure, or a blanket, that you work in your ends so it never comes undone. because it would be used very often. If it's for decoration, it's just laying on a table or in a centerpiece, or you're using some hot glue to put it somewhere, then it really doesn't matter. Take a piece of this green here, and I'm going to thread it through. And then right here, I'm going to go through this petal, right through the middle of it, just like this. And remember, the 3 still counts. If you go through 3 times, it's never going to come undone, so they say. So then I'm going to go back this way, and I'm going to work into the middle here. So, you know, you can just, this is, you know, typical of how you would normally work in yarn. So, and then I would go through here going this direction. Just want to make sure it'll never come undone. Okay, and so now I can cut off. And then that leaves 1 piece to work in, and the same thing, this is coming from the middle. So I would just push this through. And since this is coming through the middle, I'm going to go around the middle. So once, twice, and 3 times. And then I can cut off. Okay, just like that. And then these petals can be turned like this so that they look more 3D. So you're just going to press them out like that. And then you can press the back. And you can also pull up on the green. So you can pull this out like this. Just like this. Just gives them a little stretch and makes it more noticeable, that green there. Okay, so now I'm going to pull out this dark brown yarn. This is just a red heart. This will be in the description as well. And we're going to go back to our big hook, and we're going to make this centerpiece here that you see in these right here. All right. And so it is the same kind of puff that we've been working. And we're just going to find a stitch anywhere. What I like to do is go in between here, in between these 2 right here. So I'm going to take my hook, go through, and go through the other side like that. I want to pick up more than just 1 piece. And then I'm going to pull through. I'm going to do a chain to pull in my color. Then I'm going to chain 3. Actually, I'm going to chain 4, and then into the third, 1, 2, 3, into the third stitch, into the 4th stitch, I'm sorry, I'm going to work a puff 9 times, just like I've done before. So I'm going to go through there, and I'm going to pull up once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, then you've got all these loops. You're going to go through all of these loops except for the last 2. Then you're going to go through those 2. Then you're going to chain 3. And through the same stitch you've been working through, you're going to do a slip stitch. Okay? So just like you've been working all your other puffs, it's exactly the same, except for now, before you do anything else, you're going to cut off, leaving a long enough string to work this in, pull through, and tighten up. Okay? And so now you've got this hanging like this, and you're like, And all you're going to do is just turn it a little bit and press it down. And then right there, you've got the middle. This is attached here, and this is going to go through the bottom, and then we're going to work it in, okay? So I'm going to put this piece that we left long enough to work everything in onto my darning needle. And I'm going to go right through the yellow and the green out the middle. Pull tight. And then I'm going to take this piece that I had, because it's still coming out this way, from where we worked in our new color, And actually, guys, I probably should have left this a little bit longer. So when you're making this, try to think of that when you're bringing in your brown color. Just keep it a little bit longer. And I'm going to go again right through the middle here with this as well. Just like that. And now, as you can see, it's still poking up a little bit. So what I like to do is, now you could use fabric glue or any kind of hot glue if you have that handy to press it down. But if you don't, I'm just going to thread this back on. And I'm going to go through over here into the side so I don't disrupt the middle. But where I did that chain of 3, I'm going to go through there. And then I'm going to go through again. And then I'm going to go through the middle. And that's just going to help lay that down more. And you can see over here it's doing the same thing. So I'm going to go over there through that chain of 3. Like I said, trying to stay away from the middle. And then I'm going to go through again. And I'm working my way right over here to where this brown is. Just like that. And now it's sitting very perfectly. And so now I'm going to tie off into a knot and cut off. But as I said, if you need to, you might want to work these in depending upon what you're using this for. But I'm going to knot this 3 times and cut off because I'm going to be using this for a centerpiece for my table. So 2 and 3. Okay? Then I'm going to cut off. All right. And isn't that just beautiful? You've made a little sunflower. So if you want to know, I'm going to show you too how to do the little twine on the side. Looks really pretty, just like that. And I'm going to show you how I put the little like sunflower seed dots in the middle, and I use the twine for that as well. So I'm going to pull out my twine, and I'm going to cut off a pretty long piece. Just like that. And I'm going to put it onto my darning needle. And then I'm going to go through the middle here, and I'm going to pull up. Now remember, leave a long piece at the end so you can either work it in or knot it off, okay? So kind of hold that with your finger so that it doesn't keep coming up. And then going kind of with the direction of the yarn, I'm just going to make some seeds in here. Okay, so I'm just going to not pull too tight, just like this, so they're still poking up a little bit. So there's one. And then I might go over here and go the opposite direction. And there's 2. Remember, don't pull too tight so that you can still see them or they'll get lost in the yarn. If that does happen to you, you can pull up with your darning needle on them to make them poke back out again. So I'm just going around everywhere, making little seeds. Just like that. And I'm going to go over this way. And I'll go over here. Okay. And just keep putting them wherever you want to. You don't have to do many. You don't have to do any at all. It's totally up to you. I just wanted to show you how I did it. And that one went over there, so I'm going to pull that up. Okay, so I think that's good for the sake of the video. I'd probably put like one, actually I'm going to just go ahead and do it. Put one more right over here. Just looks kind of barren over there. And these this twine likes to come off of your darning needle, so just be careful. And it'll start to fray a little bit, and that's okay. That's kind of what you want it to do because it looks more realistic like, okay? So I think that looks good. As you can see with this one, I made them a little bit smaller. And I think I also took some of the, like, what I did was I kind of separated the twine and made it smaller. You can do that if you wish, but if I do that for the video, I'm just gonna get stuff everywhere. But I just wanted to show you, if you wanted them to be smaller, just like when you break away your yarn, you can break away this twine and then just cut off and use a smaller piece, okay? So you can do that if you wish. But that's right there. And see, look, when I pulled on that, it totally disappeared. So I'm gonna go right in here, use my darning needle and pull it up, and now you can see it again just fine. I can pull a little harder if I want, you know. So yeah, you can definitely do that for that. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave, I'm actually gonna knot this in the back. Again, you can work this in if you want to, but I'm actually gonna knot this twice. And I'm gonna leave it hanging out as part of my sunflower. You could cut off a little bit at the end if you wanted to. And then I'm gonna show you what I did to give the twine, excuse me, to do the twine around the sunflower, like I showed you on mine. So I'm threading some more twine onto my darning needle. I'm gonna grab a big, you know, about 2 foot. And then I'm just going to go through here just like this. Just like that. And you can leave a piece hanging and then come back through again and then leave that loop there as much as you want. And then I'm going to come back around again and go through again. You see? And that's all it's doing. You're just coming back through again and again, leaving circles. And then I'm going to come back this way. So I'm not going to leave, I'm not pulling tight. I'm just letting stuff be real kind of messy with this. Okay, and then I'm going to do one more up here. So I'm going to leave this loop like that. I might come around again and catch that and go through. So this is where the project can really become yours as to how you know, decide to do this. And then I'm going to pull this up, pull that over like that. And I'm just kind of playing with my loops a little bit. All right. And then I can cut off and then it'll just be looking like that. Isn't that beautiful? I love the way that looks. And you can not do that much. You can cut off. You can work with it. I think I really don't like that piece, so I'm going to cut that off right there. And then it'll just be like that. And then like this one, it's not got as much there. It's just hanging off the side. So it's whatever you want to do. Like I said, you don't have to do it at all. But as I was telling you, if you wanted to just do it flat and not do the 2-tier flower, you could have just left the green the way it was, or yellow, however color you're going to make it, and do the middle piece just the same that we did here in the middle for this one. So I hope you enjoyed this. Like I was saying within the video, I mean, you can use this for so many things. You can use them for appliques. You can use them for fall decorations, fall wreaths, fall table centerpieces, just anything you can think of. You can put them on your pumpkins. Just a lot of fun. You could make a crochet pumpkin, which I have a video coming soon, so I'll go ahead and show you. This is a crochet pumpkin made out of twine, and it's got a little stick here, and then you could just take this and place it right on your pumpkin. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? So those are just some ideas for these. They're really beautiful, and I hope you enjoy making them. If you do, make sure to share with me. I really appreciate it. And please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notify me bell below so you can get notified for all my videos. That helps so much. And sharing my videos really helps as well, to like a crochet group or friends or anything. I really do appreciate it, guys. So I'll see you in the next video. Happy crocheting. Bye-bye.